In the first part of my talk on the addition of education, I was trying to discuss on the behavioral aspects of insanity and abnormality, which at times basically passes through a person. It's basically I was trying to explain as to how exactly a person behaves when and there is a little insanity getting into one's mind, or when a person becomes a little frustrated at times. So this is basically what happens. I have explained it to you all in the first part of my talk, and in this part I will explain the situation and the condition under which an extreme case of insanity happens. Now, extreme cases of the insanity, or basically we can call it a mental illness, happens when a person has basically passed through any sort of shocking incident, which is pretty not handy enough for that person to take it head on, wherein that person is not able to digest the incident that has occurred to him or her. The magnitude of trauma is so immense and so huge that the person is basically torn apart, and he or she basically becomes at times very submissive, at times may become very violent, and might go on to lose his memory or lose her memory at times. So this is what happens in extreme cases of insanity. So if a person, for example, if a person he has, for example, he has 2, 3 wives, he has married lots of times. Maybe he might go on to forget this if he has basically gone passed through any sort of memory loss. For example, if he has lots of children, he might forget how many kids or how many children he has. This might happen because of the fact that he has basically passed through any sort of very violence or any sort of shocking or traumatic incident, which has basically left a very huge impact on his or her mind. This might happen. As I said, I was giving an example of people who at times forget how many children they have, how many kids they have produced, how many sons he or she has, how many daughters he or she has. At times this happens in cases of people who basically suffer from extreme case of insanity. The first part I also tried to discuss on the rising toll of basically being taken on our health and our lives as well, because of sheer work pressure. At times people at times lose their they lose their memory. At times, as I said, they basically